Welcome back to Bearcave Watch Reviews. I'm your host, Papa Bear, and today we're going to be taking a look at some budget-friendly alternatives in the field watch segment of the watch world. These are budget-friendly watches that go under the radar or have in the past. So it's going to be an interesting video. Just to be clear, none of these watches were sent to me by anyone. I've actually purchased these watches with my own money. So as always, you will be getting a full unbiased review. As always, I'll give you my pros and cons, overall thoughts about each watch, let you know at the end if they get the Bearcave Seal of Approval. And so without further ado, I'm going to move my bear and let's just take a look at what we have on the table. All right, so let's just go and start with what is on the table. I have a Timex Expedition. I have a Seiko field watch. I have a Bertucci. I have a Pro Diver. And I have the Elevon field watch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull one out, do my normal review with it, try it on, go to the next one. And before I go and start reviewing them, I do want to do a wrist check like I used to do. Today I'm wearing my Pagani Design Speedmaster homage. This is one of my favorite purchases of this year. Absolutely love it. The bracelet is fantastic. The dial is great, and I'm just ecstatic to have it. All right, so let's get started, and we're going to go ahead and start with the Seiko. This is a watch that was gifted to me from one of my close friends after her father passed away. She knew I was into watches, so this was something she gave me. I'm putting the specs there for you. Model number SNKE61, and as you can tell, I have it on a NATO because that's how I think field watches look best. What I like about this watch, let's start with that, and then I'll put it on and you can see what it looks like. Number one, the size. It's 36 millimeters, so it wears very nicely on the wrist, and it wears really great on different straps. I've had this actually on a leather strap. I've had it on the regular bracelet that it comes with, and I just loved it. Love the thought of it being a field watch, so that's why I put it on here. Let's put it on the wrist and see what it looks like. All right, so here it is on my wrist, and as you can tell, the strap itself is not very long, so I don't have it folded over. But one of the things that I love is that it just looks great. The lume is good. It's nothing outstanding, but it is bright when it does start. Again, this watch is a little bit older, and it's a basic, simple layout on the dial. It's easy to tell the time. It's not going to win any beauty contest, but if you're looking for a good everyday field watch, I think this one is really nice. All right, so let's talk about a couple things that I don't like about this watch. Number one, you have to do the Seiko shuffle. This movement is older. It doesn't hack. It doesn't whine. So that's something you got to deal with. The supplied bracelet that came on it is okay. Just not the best. No sapphire crystal. This is Hardlex, which on a field watch, it's, I think, better to have sapphire crystal because of the scratch resistance. No screw down crown, obviously, so the water resistance isn't great, but it is a good looking field watch. So this is the Seiko, and I will have links for it in the description. All right, so now we're moving on to the Timex Expedition Scout. Timex has tons of field watches. A lot of them are called Expeditions, some are called Scouts. This is just the one that I have. This one, you can put it here on the side so we can see the specs. Comes in a 40 millimeter case, blacked out, and it has a date complication if you see it there right at the 3 o'clock. This is a really good looking watch, and it wears really well. I have it on a Zulu strap, and if you need to know the difference between a Zulu strap and a NATO strap, then You can go on my Facebook page because I put up a little article about that. So um, let me put it on and then we can talk about the things that I like about this watch. All right, so here it is on my 7-inch wrist, and it does have some fold over there in the strap. I have so many NATO straps that I don't know where they came from, so please don't ask. I mean, some of them come from Amazon, some I've purchased in other places, but anyway, what I like about this watch, let's start with the size, 40 millimeters, which for me is great. It wears very nicely on the wrist. It also wears great on any Zulu or NATO strap. The strap that came on it was okay. It was one of those leather slash Cordura type straps, so I just didn't like it. So um, the dial is simple, very easy to read. The only thing that's difficult to read sometimes is the date because it is small, but it does have the date complication. So what's the best part of this watch? And it's going to be hard to see it here, but yeah, you can't really tell, but the Indiglo. And what I'll try to do is I'll get some a picture of it with the Indiglo and go from there. Now, things that I don't like about this watch, and this is kind of a tough one, but the case is not stainless steel, it's actually brass, which just that's one thing. And obviously there's no sapphire crystal, but at the price point of these watches, that's to be expected. And then it's hard to pick it up, but the ticking on the Timex, it's loud. Uh, you're not going to do any stealth missions out in a field with it, but overall, really good choice. It's usually less than 50 bucks. So this is a really nice watch, and I really like it. Okay, so moving on. This is the Elevon Hansen model number ELE117-1. This is a micro brand that I believe was started from the watch gang community. It is a field watch, and I do like it. I've had it a couple years, and put it here for the specs. And I do have it on a regular NATO single pass, and as you can tell, uh, just a pretty basic layout design. Uh, let's talk about things that I like about this watch, because this is actually the weakest entry in here, but it's still an affordable, budget-friendly watch. So things that I like, the size, it's 40 millimeters, wears very nicely on the wrist. It wears very nicely on NATO straps. I don't know if you noticed, but I have a thing for the greens and olive greens and browns. So that's what they're on. The lume is good. It's not outstanding, but it does its job. One thing that I love is the simplicity of the dial. You have the arrows on the 12 o'clock, batons at 3, 6, and 9, and then the Arabic numbers elsewhere. So I'm going to put it on my wrist so you can see what it looks like. So here it is on my 7-inch wrist. Like I said, it wears very nice. One thing that I did say wrong, the case is brushed alloy case. It's not a stainless steel case. So that's going to go into things that I don't like. The case, the supply leather strap that came on this watch was terrible. It was really, really cheap, and I took it off right away. No sapphire crystal. At the retail price of this watch, that's just not acceptable. However, it's very simple design, easy layout to read. It wears well. It's thin. It is quartz movement, so that's always nice. But like I said, it is not worth the retail price. And I'll tell you right now that you can find this watch on Poshmark from $10 to $25 all day long, brand new. So that's where I'm going to link you to. Okay, so this next one is going to be a little different, and some people are going to call me crazy. Some people are going to think that I'm just peddling this watch. It's not that at all. This is a Pro Diver, and it can be any Pro Diver. It just happens to be one that I bought just a few months ago. I'll put it here for the specs. And it came on the regular bracelet, which you know how I feel about Invicta bracelets. So that came off. And I put it on this green Zulu strap, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And, basically it's a Pro Diver. Pro Divers are great beater watches. They're inexpensive. You can swim with them, ride your motorcycle with them, and you can turn it into a field watch. Somebody said it kind of reminded them of a mil-spec looking watch, which I see, but again, any Pro Diver will do for this. So let's talk about the things that I like about this watch. For me, 40 millimeters, perfect size. Stainless steel, awesome. The dial, and this one in particular, simple, easy to read, but that's pretty much the case for all Pro Divers. And it's just a beater, so that's really the best part. Now, things that I don't love about the watch, and the first thing I'm going to say, the lume. The lume on Invictas is terrible. After being around so long and all the money that they make off some of their lesser conservative watches, you think that they would start using better lume. Again, the supplied bracelet was terrible. So it sits on this single pass Zulu, which doesn't make it too chunky. So that's one thing I guess I do like. And there's no sapphire crystal. Instead, we have flame fusion crystal. And you guys know how I feel about that. So, like I said, any Pro Diver. I'm going to put it on so you see how it looks. All right, so here it is on my 7-inch wrist. Do a wrist roll for you, free of charge. It just wears really nice. And yeah, I guess I do see the mil-spec look. But again, it's just a field watch. And you can do this with any Pro Diver. In my opinion, I would use the stainless steel ones, not a two-tone one. But again, any Pro Diver you can turn into a field watch. Okay, so now we come to the Bertucci. This is model number A-2T. I will pick it up and put it here so you can see the specs. This is a great field watch. I'm going to slip it on the wrist and then we'll talk about it. All right, so here it is on my 7-inch wrist on a NATO Zulu strap. It's a great looking watch, great specs, and I'm going to tell you things that I love about this watch. Okay, so things I like about this watch or love about the watch. The size, it's 40 millimeter. It wears really, really well. It also looks great on pretty much every strap that you can put on it. The lume is very good. I will tell you that the supplied strap that came on this watch is one of the best straps ever. The dial is very simple to read. It's clean. I love that it has a date complication. Some people aren't a big fan of that on a field watch, but I like it. And it's just a simple layout. If I had to say, this may get me some hate, but I would put this up against pretty much any field watch out there. So something to think about. The things that I don't like about the watch, and it's really, subjective, is that it doesn't come with a sapphire crystal. I think if it had that, it would just be over the top, one of the better field watches out there. So that's the Bertucci, and let's do a recap. All right, so overall, I realized a while back that you don't really have to spend a lot of money on watches. They all do the same thing, really. They tell time. That changed my whole perspective. So when I started to put together field watches, I was like, I don't need them to be expensive. I just need them to look the part and do what they do. The movement, quality control, and materials on all of these are really good. Some of these are newer to me. Some have been in my regular rotation for a while, like the Seiko and the Bertucci. And, I think that Field Watch Fridays is the day that I look forward to some weeks because I get to put these on. So would I give these watches the Bearcave Seal of Approval? So would I give these watches the Bearcave Seal of Approval? Yes, I would, with one caveat. The Elevon one is the least strongest one, and the retail price on them was ridiculous. You can find this watch on Poshmark for under $30 all day long, and if you're like me and you negotiate the price, you'll get it for less. I think they all look great. They feel great on the wrist. I love that I can change out straps. I didn't mention it, but the Bertucci has the spring bars are built into the watch. So that's the only one that you can't put leather straps on if you decided to do that. That's not something I would do, but again, that's there. As always, I just want to thank you for making it to the end of this video. However, before I leave, I do want to do a special shout out. So real quick, Friday when I got home, I had a message from a buddy in one of the watch groups asking me if I had checked my mail, which I hadn't done yet. However, my wife had put on my desk a package that did get here, and it was this custom built subby vintage style on a NATO. So just I had to share this because it was such a surprise to me. I don't really know what I did to deserve it. I'm eternally grateful because I love the style, I love the look, and I've been wearing it since then, the last couple days. And I wanted to just show it off and just say thank you to the group that sent it to me. I was blown away. So I really wanted to say a shout out to that. Um, as always, there will be links to all the watches that I can find in the description. If you're not following me on all the social media, I'll ask you again, what are you waiting for? Uh, Thank you again for making it to the end of the video. This is Papa Bear, and we'll see you next time.